Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Stephanie. This is the week 46, November 13th through November 19th weekly wrap up. So, do I look like I'm bundled up? Yes, that is because my money pit of a house struck once again, but like early this morning, super early this morning, woke up to the house being at like 62 degrees, it being like 32 degrees outside. So needless to say, we were freezing. Our child decided to like curl up underneath our bed. I mean, Oscar, our four-legged friend, he finally is home in his box, and after crossing that rainbow bridge last week, and yeah, we thought we thought Oscar came back in ghost form, but come to find out it was our kid deciding to sleep underneath our bed. Very, very funny this morning, but it was freezing in our house, so we're making all these calls, calling everybody, because got to make sure the electrical's good and got to make sure the HVAC is good, getting all these things together, and then finally decided to call the power company. Power company shows up like they were right around the corner. Craziness. But it was the power company that ended up fixing it all, it looks like. So we're super excited. Now we're just working on it heating up the house. So I can get unbundled just a little. So this is the new hair. I hinted at it. Did something new for Indies Invade Philly, which you guys will get a vlog for if you didn't already see the like reel, what have you, over on Instagram and on TikTok. You can go check those out. Those are fun to put together, but I have an entire vlog that I actually like talked in, things like that will be coming up. Patreon will probably get the early access to it, as well as some other videos that I have coming out, that I had been putting together on the sly, and you guys didn't know about it. Yeah. So that is still a thing. It's not as active as I would want it to be, but it is a thing. I also just stopped and figured out that I can possibly put on a silent book club in our area. I'm in my area. So I'm super excited to like really kind of dig into how to make that happen. If you don't know, silent book clubs are a like way to discuss books, but not the same book, and read together. So this should be fun to try and do and try and put together. So I'm super excited about that. I found a location that would be like perfect for my area, and let's see if I can kick this off. See if I can actually do this. I don't know. Other than that, I think that is all. Kiddo qualified for his like winter sort of championship competition meet, and we're super proud of him for that. And I think that is it that's going on. If you didn't notice, I also got a new pair of glasses. I hinted at this at during last week's video about how I got 4 new pairs, but then I went and got my prescription and it changed just a little bit. This is the pair of the new. How do you guys like it? Yes, I think it goes really, really well with my hair. What do you think? What do you think? What are we thinking? What are we thinking? I am enjoying these like locks and everything like that. It kind of makes me want to possibly lock my own hair. Maybe. At first I was like, did I do it right? And, I kind of, the lived in look is giving, it's giving for me. I like this look. I'm enjoying this look. I don't know that I could do it 24/7, which is why I did the faux locks. Anyways, I am rambling. Let's get into the books that I did read last week, because I got a couple to talk about. So, started the week by finishing Western Wave, which is Compass number 3 by Brittainy Cherry. This is an interracial romance, contemporary, giving it 4.25 stars, giving it 3 Steam fans. Listen to it as an audiobook. Like I said, this is a Black author. Brittainy Cherry is. There are content warnings for grief, for fat phobia, oh my gosh, self-esteem issues, abuse, verbal and mental. Yeah, we're gonna say mental abuse as well. So we have Stella, who is an artist, and her sort of faux father passes away, and we are introduced to her when she is having a bad day. She is burying her faux father, and the last scone that she like usually has was taken by the jerk in front of her, and come to find out that jerk is Damon. Yeah. He is actually in town for that same funeral for that same actual father. Come to find out that Stella's faux father is Damon's actual father, and we get to find out that in the father's will, he put it together that Stella and Damon had to get married, so an arranged marriage sort of for 6 months, and figure out what they were going to do with the money, and yeah, there were some stipulations. So we start off with a fake marriage that turns into obviously a real marriage. But Stella has a douchebag boyfriend to start the book off, and I wasn't a big fan of that douchebag boyfriend. Like, I kind of wish he wasn't involved in it at all, but it is what it is. It was a plot. It was a plot branch, and it was there. Overall, I enjoyed the story. I am looking forward to the 4th book because secrets are revealed in that last like little bit of Western Wave, and that's what caused us to get another book. The next book that I finished was Primo DeLuca, which is Savage Bloodlines number 15 in the collection by Keta Kendric. This is a interracial mafia romance. Yes. Giving it 4.5 stars, giving it 3 Steam fans. Had it as an ebook through KU. I did pull this one out of KU and read the KU version versus reading the collection version, because in the beginning, Keta tells us that she has added on content in the KU version, which I was like, oh, thank you for that heads up. That is all I ask, so I didn't have to read the collection version because the KU version was giving me more. Keta is a Black author. There are content warnings for violence, torture, trauma. What is this? I don't know what this word is that I wrote in here. Yeah, so we're not gonna put it. There's another content warning. I don't know what it is though. So we have Nevaeh, who is sweet Lord, I cannot read my writing today. Nevaeh has a dangerous past, and she walks that. Okay. I love when my notes jog my memories of these stories. So Nevaeh walks into this sticky situation where Primo is having a meeting with his with his men, because he's the capo of St. Louis, and there is also some secrets about Primo that I was just like, yes, thank you. He is also a DeLuca hitman, and I was like, I'm here for this. I was so here for this. We have car chases, and we have car crashes, and high-speed chases, and just all kinds of action and drama and suspense. Nevaeh and Primo end up hooking up as a couple, because Primo was like, she has enough gumption to, interrupt my meeting. I'm gonna make this woman mine. Yes, and yes. So I was here for that. The next book that I finished was Mai Tai, which is Lunchtime Chronicles number 49 by Amarie Avant, placing this in interracial romance. This is a BWAM romance. It's a mistaken identity thing. I'm giving it 3.5 stars. I might downgrade that one. I don't know. Giving it 2.5 Steam fans, had it as an ebook through KU. This is a Black author. This is an enemies to lover romance, and it started off really well. And it follows this Yakuza leader named Rochi. It's Rochi. And we have Ryan. Ryan is a huge nerd. She's on a vacation and she hires this company to provide her with a book boyfriend of her choosing, and she's really into manga and the Yakuza kind of way of life and those type of mangas, that kind of gang activity and things like that. And I was like, okay. So we're in Japan, and Ryan ends up mistaking Rochi for her book boyfriend. Okay. I was like, yep, eating it up. And then something ends up happening, and it kind of went awry, and I was just like, what happened? Why this? I felt a little disconnected and was like, it just took a turn. And I was just like, I don't understand. Started off really well, but in the end, it was just like, okay. The next book that I finished was A Little Too Late, which is Madigan Mountain number 1 by Sarina Bowen, placing this in contemporary. Giving it 4.25 stars. Giving it 3 Steam fans had this as an audiobook. This is part of a series of standalones. Yes, you can technically read these out of order or in any order that you want, but I definitely suggest that you read them in order. There are content warnings for miscarriage, for alcoholism, for grief, for family dysfunction, sort of a broken family trope thing going on. There's some misogyny, and sarcasm. They're college sweethearts. So we have Reed and Ava, who are college sweethearts. Reed is one of the brothers from Madigan Mountain. His father owns a ski resort, and after his mother passes away, he leaves and is like, I'm just not dealing with the things that my father are doing. And he ends up meeting Ava when he decides to take sort of a gimme course in college and things like that. This is almost a sports romance as well, because they're really heavy into the skiing aspect of having a ski mountain and things like that. Ava ends up, so we see them as college sweethearts, but we also see them sort of 10 years in the future, where Ava is now the manager of the mountain. And when Reed comes back to the mountain, when his dad is trying to or thinking about selling the mountain to this developer, Reed comes in and steps in and is like, hold up. This is what I do for a living, and it seems like you're getting a bad deal. So we get to see how all of that turns out, as well as how Reed and Ava reintroduced themselves to each other. And I was like, yes, here for it. The next book that I finished was A Little Too Close, which is Madigan Mountain number 2 by Rebecca Yarros. Placing this one in contemporary as well, giving it 4.5 stars. Giving it 3 Steam fans had this as an audiobook, and this one has content warnings for grief, PTSD, chronic illness, single parent, family dysfunction. Again, this is sort of a roommates to lovers. So we have Weston, who is the middle Madigan brother, and he left after his mother passed away, after his younger brother was old enough to take care of himself, and joined the military, became a pilot. And when we open up, we find out that Weston is up for promotion and could possibly you know, stay in and gain rank and things like that. But he ends up closing down, or retiring, not closing down, retiring from the military and going back to the mountain, starting this ski flight, extreme sort of tours and things like that. And he actually brings some of his military friends with him. Loved that aspect of it. Rebecca Yarros is doing her thing with adding diversity, so that we're not just in little small white towns all the time. All the time. We got some color going on, and I was here for that. So he brings an entire team with him to start this, you know, flying company. It's very big on the fact that he now owns this, you know, owns 2 helicopters and the things that they're doing with it. And he has to work out the things that are going on with, you know, his feelings for Reed and why Reed left when he did and how he was left to take care of everything. Well, when he gets back, he stays in one of the sort of family homes that they have, employee homes that they have for the mountain. And who also lives there but the resort's photographer and her daughter. Callie is the photographer for the mountain, but she has major aspirations to be bigger and do more things with her photography. Well, Reed and why do I keep going back to Reed? Weston and Callie met each other before Weston left for the military, when Callie was like, I don't know how I can put this without spoiling it. When she was down on her luck, she had a flat tire and needed some help, or ran out of gas. She ran out of gas. That's what it was. She ran out of gas, and she was pregnant, and she was young. And so, you know, he helps her out. The one last thing that he does, gets her hired at the resort as a photographer. And, you know, she has a daughter, and they live in this house. Well, it's a duplex, and they end up becoming roommates, and then they fight their feelings for each other, and until they don't fight their feelings for each other, then some things end up happening. Rebecca likes to like put you in this sort of gut-wrenching headspace, because there's a bit of an injury that ends up happening, and you're like, oh my goodness, is this really how we're gonna do this third act breakup? But of course, she fixes it all back together, and it was so good. So good. I think at this moment, Weston is probably my favorite Madigan brother, but I'm only partially into the 3rd book, which you guys will hear about little later. So then the next book that I finished was Dawn's Blaze, which is Rescue 4 number 4 by Tiffany Patterson, giving it 4 stars, giving it the Reesting fans. Had this as an audiobook through Hoopla, and this is a Black author. This is the conclusion of the Rescue 4 romantic suspense that has been going on, and we have content warnings for PTSD, especially when it comes to a fire trauma and amputation. And then there's this mystery that's going on, that has been going on. So in the city of Williamsport, which is where Rescue 4 is set, there have been a slew of arsons, and this is what was one of the causes of the amputation of one of the firefighters. So Dawn is the station investigator for, you know, arsons and things like that. He knew something was off, but his headspace was not in the right place when his best friend Corey ends up getting injured and losing his leg. So he's trying to work with the department to find out what's going on. Is this arson? Isn't it arson? Or, you know, something like that. And then we have Jocelyn, who is Corey's sister, who's also a private investigator. She likes to catch men cheating, but she has sort of branched out and does any kind of partners, but she's very much an investigator when it comes to cheating and things like that. The two of them had an attraction to each other, but because it was a best friend sister situation, they didn't want to cross those boundaries until they did. And it started to kind of go off the story for me, started to go very much into we got a whole lot of finger pointing going on, and is this the actual person that's causing this, or is this the person that's causing this sort of situation that that kind of threw me off. But other than that, I really kind of enjoyed the story. I wanted a little bit more from it, but overall, I'm glad with the conclusion that we came to, and I'm looking forward to reading the other books that are set in Williamsport by Tiffany Patterson. Then the final book that I finished reading last week was Vito DeLuca, which is the 16th book in the Savage Bloodline collection by Shana Greene-Dowdell. I think that's how I pronounce her last name. I've never read her before, but I'm giving this one 3 stars, giving it 2 Steam fans. Had it as an ebook. This is another one that kind of warned me ahead of time that there was more content in the KU version than it was in the collection, so I read the KU version. Still completely lost on what was going on with it. This is a Black author. There are content warnings for domestic violence, stalking, and like maybe retribution, something like that. So we have Vito, who is the grandson to Don Irmo, who is the one that was killed in the beginning of the series in Brutal Bloodlines. And he is, I don't know how he is related to Enzo. I don't think they're brothers, but they both are the grandsons of Don Irmo, and Enzo is the new Don. So he ends up seeing this woman at a grocery store who's Nicole. Nicole ends up is in an abusive relationship, and like super abusive, mentally abusive, emotionally abusive, physically abusive. The two of them end up getting intertwined together. I don't know. I kind of checked out. Maybe I wasn't in the correct headspace to read this book or what have you, but I tried to read like the ending of it like 3 different times to sort of put it together, and it just didn't fit for me. Like, I don't know where the miss was, but it didn't work for me. So maybe it was a me and not a book thing, because the reviews on it are like super positive. It just didn't work for me. It didn't keep me intrigued. So what am I currently reading? I am currently reading A Little Too Wild, which is Madigan Mountain #3 by Devney Perry, Heartbeat by Terreece M. Clarke, Enzo DeLuca by M. Renee Allen, and Token Black Girl by Danielle Prescod. That I'm reading that because it's a memoir for the new Kindle challenge, and that book was available in KU, and it also has the audiobook in KU, and that is how I'm going to finish that challenge, because if you know me, I love my Kindle challenges and need to, make those happen. Alrighty. So here are all the reminders. I actually have some other things going on as well. I would like to do a video about unpopular opinions. So down in the description box, there is a link for a form. Drop your unpopular opinions to me, and let me know what they are, because I would love to do an entire video about unpopular opinions. I have my list going that I've been thinking about, and I would love to hear what some of your unpopular bookish opinions are. So fill out the form. You can fill it out as many times as you want, and it's completely anonymous, so don't worry about that. I won't be like finger pointing at all whatsoever. Also down there in the description box, there's only a few days left if you wanted to possibly donate to Kiddos Swim fundraiser. That link is down there. You can do that. Every little bit counts to keep him in the water, and it's greatly appreciated. There was something else. And I cannot think of what it is right now. Oh. Also down in the description box is going to be a form. I think I'm going to do a complete video on this, but I have a lot of extra books down in my recording room that like extras of, and I would love to sort of book fairy some of you guys that watch my videos religiously. So it would mean that you would need to provide me with like your name and your address. But I would love to book fairy some of you guys some books that I have had duplicates of that should go to good homes and be read or be used as trophies and things like that. That will be a different video, but be on the lookout for that because that's going to be happening. Now, you wouldn't be getting the packages until probably after Christmas, depending on how I wanted to do it. But yeah, I have some things down there. So if you're willing to want to be book fairied some extra copies of things that I already have, yeah, fill out the form, and you may get some things in the mail. Alrighty. Other than that, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Also, there is a feedback form down in the description box so you guys can help me improve my channel. My social links are down in the description box, as well as my author interest form for those that are interested in joining the Let Me Introduce You series. There's an author suggestion form down there as well, for people that if you're not an author and you think I should reach out to this author, drop it down there. I might reach out to an author that you suggest. Other than that, I think that is all. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in another video.